Hello, fellow traders. 'Tis I, the Rumpled One. It's November 11th, and I am a codaholic. I can't help it. If you guys have been following, you know probably a couple of months ago I said I wasn't going to do anything else to the TRO zones dashboards. Well, you guys probably, if you know me, you knew that was not going to happen. Well, I woke up this morning, and yeah, it sounds like a blues song. I woke up this morning. Anyway, and I had some good ideas, and I just had to make them come to fruition. So let's get started here. This is when you load up the TRO zones dashboard. This is what comes up. And right now I'm sitting on a weekly chart, and I also have an EA that I wrote so I can close like the oldest trade, I can close all the trades, and I can switch time frames and switch pairs. Now, you know these are buttons, but there's a problem. If you have an EA loaded and you click one of these buttons, it takes what seems like forever for MT4 to respond. So what I did was, in the zones dashboard, I made a new input, show buttons. It's the default's true, but we're going to turn it to false. So if you're running an EA, you can go back to the old way, where this puts a star by the pair that's on the chart. So now when you change, it does it like it's supposed to, and you can change pairs just as quickly. So that's the first thing I did, because it was just driving me nuts. Plus, because I know better, but I would keep hitting the buttons, and then I'd have to wait, and it just drove me nuts. So we took care of that. Next, I added a few things. Somebody's going to probably like one of them, maybe both of them. First thing I did was I added what I call the heat column. You might remember there was a TRO heat indicator, and basically what this does is it tells me where the price is in relation to the previous week's candle. So like right here, it's above the high of the previous week's candle. You see, we've got the TRO HL5 indicator loaded there. And so you can see the AUDJPY. Okay, it says it's in the upper wick zone, which right there you can see price is in that upper wick zone. Okay, we've got another upper wick zone. And let's see the euro dollar. You can see here it's below the low. So it basically just tells you where a price. And the reason I have week one default just gives me an idea which way I want to trade for the day. Because you can see here we had a down day. Well, when it broke through there, it'd be nice to take over, let's see, it's 109.34 to 108.56. That would have been a nice trade. I think you could have had that for the day. See, I'm so used to doing that, sometimes I forget I've got my buttons right there. So you can see here, I've got this set so it'll look at the previous, but once again, the previous day you could take in that breakout, or right here, right across the previous day's open, right across the previous day's close. You could have traded any of those horizontal lines profitably, if you're using the direction of the weekly heat. Okay, so that's the heat column. The next column, and it's just going to get better. I'm telling you, it's just going to get better. We've got the strength column. Now, you might know there's a bunch of different strength indicators floating around out there. And so there was one I picked up, and in fact I even made a multi-pairs indicator. So I took that code and embedded it here. So we're going to take the strength on the D1 time frame, and basically if in this case we're saying buy the yen, okay? It says buy the yen because the yen is stronger, or I'm sorry, the dollar is stronger than the yen by a difference of 0.7. So all I do is each currency, the dollar has a value and the yen has a value. So I just subtract one from the other, and I determine if you should buy or sell it based on the strength of the day. Let's see. I think there we can look at like here we got the euro yen, and so see it's saying sell that. Okay, and we've got the dollar Canadian, and it yielded a buy. So that's the strength. But wait, there's more. And no, you're not going to get any Ginzu knives if you send me a donation. Oh, too funny. Okay, we've got something I call the indicator column. I did a multi-pair indicator a couple years ago, I believe. I can't remember how long ago it was. I think it might have been 2010. Where there's internal indicators to MT4. So things like the money flow index, RSI, momentum, there's a whole bunch of them. So what you have to do is you have to know what the parameters are, but you can look that up in the MT4 guide, and I can even show you how to do that. Maybe I'll do that. I'll really get into this on another video. So here I'm going to say we're going to put it in column 3. We're going to use the 1 day, or in fact we'll just make that to the current period. So whatever the period is on the chart, it'll use that one. And we've got our indicator heading, and you can make this whatever. So for example, if you want to know that you're using the 14 period, you might say something like MFI 14. But the indicator name, this is the internal indicator name, the MT4. So it's a little I MFI. And parameter 3, that's how many periods we're going to use, 14. So you see here, what it does is it'll give you the value for the money flow index. And as I said, you can use any of the internals. So back in the day when I was doing squigglies, if you remember my work, I did a lot with RSI2. So if I put RSI2 there, you can see. Now you see these different colors? This is the cool stuff from the code. You can come down here, it tells you the maximum digits to show. You have thresholds, so you can see here 80, if it's above 80 or if it's below 20, it'll have a threshold color. And there's different levels, and there's different colors for the level. And if you want to use those colors for those levels, you set that parameter to true, and you can see we're using those colors. So that gives you some power in case you want a visual. And of course, there's even more. This is where it really gets good. Okay, along with the indicator column, I added the divergence column. Now, once again, if you remember my work with RSI2, we did divergence. So we had negative divergence here and positive divergence. Some of you might not be familiar with divergence, so let me go and show you what we're talking about. So I've got my RSI divergence indicator. RSI periods is 2. Okay, what is divergence and why do we use it? You see here we have negative divergence, if the price is higher, but the indicator's value is lower, so you can see here, this value is lower than this value, but the indicator, the RSI2 indicator, is giving a lower value. That's negative divergence. That signals a sell. Okay? And so what this does is it'll go through and it'll find the first divergence and let you know here on dollar Canadian 9 bars ago is where we first had negative divergence. So if you go back 9 bars, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, you can see here, well, it's right there, that's the first negative divergence, right at that point and this point. So without having to clog up your screen with squigglies, you can see where there's divergence. So you can think, oh wow, dollar franc, maybe I might want to trade that. And of course, if you change your chart period, you can, if you set this to current, it will change along with it. And these two are tied together. Okay, so this is the divergence of the RSI. And so that, I think, makes this indicator pretty powerful. I know I'll probably figure out something else to add to it, but right now I don't know what that could be, because this thing is almost like a Swiss Army knife, you know, everything including the kitchen sink type of indicator. Because you now have control over, you can put an internal indicator, and I know there's somebody's gonna probably go, come on TRO, can I have an extra, can I have 2 columns please? I'll think about it, but right now there's just one. And let's see, I've gone over the heat, I've gone over the strength, I've gone over the indicator and divergence, and I believe that's probably gets most of the changes that I've done to the indicator. And what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to probably have to go through and make a video for each column so I can clearly explain it, because I think it's a lot easier for me to do it with the video than it is to sit there and take screenshots and put it in a PDF, because that's a lot of work. So I think that's what I'll do, is maybe, I don't know, once a week or something, I will go over the columns. Now, if you have a column you want me to go over quickly, let me know. Otherwise, I think I'm just going to go right down the line. And some of them I'll probably do in batches, because it would just make sense to do that. So for example, you know, open, high, low, mid, previous high. And I've already done a video showing these, but like I said, maybe I'll go through it and do something maybe just a little bit more formal or something. Maybe get into depth. That way I can spend the entire, you know, 15 minutes talking about, you know, a group of columns or a column. So anyway, fellow traders, I will probably get this out sometime soon. I want to test it a little bit more. If somebody's chomping at the bit and they want to test, if they want to help me test it, you know, shoot me an email, but you have to be a donator to shoot me an email to get this, because I will check. So anyway, I hope you like it. I hope it's profitable for you, because remember, traders, it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. TheRumpledOne signing off.